Moment you can learn to drive on a Mini, pass your test in the morning, and in the afternoon quite legitimately climb into a Porsche 911, one of the most demanding drivers' cars in the world. Something Porsche acknowledge by offering driving courses to every customer. But is this unrestricted freedom justified? The statistics show that young male drivers between 17 and 20 have a 1 in 3 chance of having an accident within the first 2 years of passing their test, and the cause is likely to be excessive speed. So what's the answer? Now, here in Northern Ireland, they reckon they've got a solution to the problem. If these candidates have been successful in their test, they can throw away the L plate, but they have to replace it with the R plate. They've got to display it for 12 months. While it means they can drive on their own on a main road or a motorway, they're subject to a 45-mile-an-hour speed limit. The system's been in force in Northern Ireland for the last 24 years. It started as an experiment by the Department of Transport in Whitehall. Surely such a long-running experiment must have amassed a wealth of evidence that R plates really work.
Unfortunately, not strong evidence, but what there is, the RUC accident report, which comes out each year, apportions responsibility for accidents on drivers. And it's very interesting that in the first year of driving, the responsibility for the accident is less than half what it is in second right up to 6th year of driving.
In other words, drivers with R plates cause fewer accidents than those who finish their probation. What isn't clear is whether, after that probationary year, drivers have fewer accidents than if they've never been through the R plate year at all. But now the whole scheme is being reviewed by Belfast's Queen's University, and the preliminary results are encouraging.
The vast majority of people are saying they agree with the scheme. They think the 12-month R plate restriction is about right, and quite a lot of people feel that the speed limit needs to be looked at. But I think one of the first things that the young driver wants is to get rid of this R plate. And they know that if they're convicted of any motoring offence, then that R plate period will be extended, and can be extended up to a further 12 months.
On the mainland, there's currently only one mandatory scheme for novice driver identification, and ironically enough, that's on the country's racetracks. In the absence of compulsion, what about voluntary schemes? In Wolverhampton, the local paper, the Express and Star, has been backing a campaign for new drivers to display a P for probationer plate.
It started really with Mrs. Vicky Stone, a local lady whose 17-year-old daughter died in a road accident. And she launched a Learn and Live campaign for P-plates. We recognised the importance of it and how wise such a move was, and we decided to support it wholeheartedly.
The paper has been swamped with requests for the plates. They've issued some 4,000 so far. But if P or R plates are not the answer, what is? Should there be a restriction on the power and speed of cars new drivers can have access to? Should there be control on the number of passengers they can carry, or even a ban on night driving? And surely all these things would be very difficult to administer. So what would the driving instructors like to see?
I think graduated licences could be a big success story. It would seem that they could be graduated in different ways, either by testing or training, or by age, or perhaps better still by a mixture of all three. So they could build up over perhaps a couple of years to driving faster cars on motorways and dual carriageways, etc. So they didn't get all the cake straight away. They were encouraged to learn a piece at a time.
In the past, Top Gear's often been critical of the Department of Transport for inactivity. However, they tell us they've recently commissioned a major study into the accident rates of 30,000 novice drivers. Now, depending on the outcome of that research, they could introduce some sort of probationary driver scheme. Let's hope they don't miss this opportunity to do something